Howdy, partners. Welcome back to more daily CS news. We got a clip out there from xQc as he talked about how expensive esports truly are. And in it, in classic xQc fashion, he mentions a lot of numbers. If you guys don't know X, he was formerly about to get into the Valorant space. He has wanted to sign esports rosters for a while, but has never fully committed despite having a lot of money. Even someone like him, after signing a rumored gigantic contract with Kick and obviously does very well for himself, has kind of stepped off the gas of signing teams due to financial issues with esports, and how he says it is massively more expensive than people expect, as he names off numbers saying dozens and dozens of millions to get into esports like League of Legends and Counterstrike. I think someone needs to tell him that in 2025 the system is going to open up, and CS is certainly less franchised than games like League or Valorant or Call of Duty. But here is what he had to say.
I want to buy esports team, yeah, definitely. Fuck. I wish I could own like I wish that fucking mainstream big esports just get off the pedestal to make the barrier of entry better for League of Legends and CS, because the operations are like 10 times the price that they should be. The overhead cost and cost for overall operations for esports teams is, I still think to this day, like literally 10 times more what it should be for those tiers of teams. And it's what I wish I would own a tier 1 team, but I don't think you guys understand the loss. Like, we're not talking about like a couple million. Imagine thinking that I give a fuck about losing like 5 mil on a team. I don't give a fuck. 5 mil, whatever. Brother, we're talking in like 20, 30 mil, and it's draining over and over, and it wouldn't stop draining. Like, it's not just 5 mil. We're talking about dozens of millions. At that point, that's too hardcore. Like, I can't justify that. I don't give a fuck when people call me schizo when I said that I know shit and I have a vision for stuff.
And this is interesting because when you think of xQc, you think of someone who has plenty of money and plenty of wealth to get into this space. And it is cool that he still has that interest. Maybe he just needs to be better informed, or maybe he's been informed by better people than me, which is also still possible. But when he looks at games like CS and names numbers like 5 million, he could certainly operate a CS team for $5 million a year. Now, would it cost him a majority of that amount of money to actually field the roster and maintain them for a year, and of course have them travel and actually be a good roster and competitive, and then of course boot camp them and have them in Europe for most of the year? Yes. It would still be ridiculously expensive and most certainly not a profitable venture for him, which I think is the point he is trying to make, as esports where they currently stand are not profitable, and a lot of these top tier esports are still jacked up on prices, and it makes no sense for a creator like X to enter esports, which I can't necessarily argue with.
Okay, you can go back into the VOD and look at it, okay? And I have literally said that the industry was struggling, right? Even before the Overwatch League days, everything was struggling, and the only way to bring back actual good esports and to further the interest of esports was through watch parties, was through co-watching, was through possible even live betting with live viewing, even though this is something that you guys are not going to agree with because you might think it's degen. It is, some of these things are at the core some of the most social things that we as humans do, such as going to the bar and watching football games. Okay, you can digitalize that experience online through creators and watch parties and make that the next big thing, but they're doing it at a turtle pace. And I said that like 10 years ago, and they're only starting to do it now and last year with like Terex watch parties, and then Valorant is opening up, and then League watch parties with creators, and they're opening up, and it's slowly expanding, right? Oh yeah, own the pixel now, sure. But that is the biggest block that would loosen up that tight financial hold that there is on esports, and I could revolutionize it if I was at the helm or whatever, right? But then I'm sure there's a bunch of things that I don't understand as an outsider, like sponsors, brand recognizability and other things, I think the way to do it would be to risk a loss and go full send on it. And whatever you damage, it is what it is, right? And to try it, because if it works, it'll accelerate the growth at rates that are would outpace the loss. That's my current analysis. But fuck, who the fuck do we know?
Although, in CS defense, because we are on the CS News channel, I will say, albeit it's one of the more talked about esports that is difficult financially to stay in and to get into, it is a less franchise system, or should be more so open in the future. Obviously, there's also a lot of competition when it comes time for competing with all the European teams out there. If you want to field a North American team, they're still going to be in Europe most of the year. There's difficulties and certainly barriers to entry in CS, but it's not a franchise league that we see with Riot Games and League of Legends. You got to pay a substantial fee. Like Call of Duty with Activision, you got to pay a substantial fee. Those fees are just sprinkled elsewhere when it comes to a game like Counter-Strike. I would love to see X get involved in other esports out there. Maybe not CS, but it's certainly a possibility, and it seems like something he is interested in, although he really wanted to drive home the point that it's expensive, and maybe we don't even understand how expensive it truly is, and that's why he's kind of backed off signing these rosters. But eventually, maybe we'll see xQc enter esports when it makes more sense. What do you guys think? Till next time, you guys take care of yourselves, right? Hotel videos will continue. We'll see you back here sometime soon. Drink that water and coffee. Yeah.